Believers, I'm recording this video in this guest room again. I know there are a lot of kind of weird stuff written on the wall. It's not me. This is the only room available where there's not a lot of noise in the background. So that's why the background. And you have the hawk that you can see over here. Well, I'm going to turn it here so you're not too distracted by what's behind me. Hold on. Look, in this video, I want to highlight something quite important that believers often don't capture. When it comes to evil and violence, you don't fight it. You oppose it, but you don't go into the fight mode against it. You know why? Because by doing that, it feeds off of your resistance. Evil is a parasite. Violence is a parasitical pattern of behavior in which you drain the other to get what you crave. And what do violent people and violent entities crave? Validation. They want to be as the Most High, and they're not. So what do you do with structures of violence or with evil? I've already written a document. I provide a link to it with decrees and declarations you can make collectively as believers. And I've also told you in that document to make steps. Now I'm going to talk about the steps now. To get rid of the power of the beast system, you must stop feeding the beast system, because the beast system is one big whorish parasite. That's what the beast system is. The world is as a big whorish parasite. It needs you to remain in existence. That's why blood sacrifices. That's why violence, to drain you. So what do you do about it? You replace it. Let me give a very short example. Let's say you have a neighborhood where you have this mafia, this drug cartel that's governing the area. Why? Because they manage the food supply as well as the supply to the shops. So you have a port over there where ships come in, they manage the port, and because they also manage the supply to the supermarkets. So because they manage the supply of food to that area, they have a grip on the area. Because if you so-called piss off or anger one of those members of that cartel, they can shut down the food supply to the stores for about a day or two. And people come to sense it. So because they have this grip on the population, they can get away with almost anything over there. So what do? You make sure that there's another alternative supply for food. So let's say now that you have an airport like 1 or 2 kilometers away. You can arrange an agreement with the airport that food supplies can be transported to businesses from the airport. Or if there is a shoreline over there, just build a small pier where smaller ships can come, and you do that so smaller ships come to that pier, and now you can have a believer that's using that small pier to import new goods, and he now supplies an alternative stream of goods to the shops. And now that drug cartel that used to play God over there, their grip on the population decreases because there's an alternative. And that alternative becomes so successful that the drug cartel becomes irrelevant. If you would have gone after the drug cartel to fight them, many would have died, and negative tension would have increased in the community, and that would have kept their grip in existence. But now that you replace them with something better, and the better is empowered, the drug cartel may still exist with their guns, with their cars, and with their mansions, but they go out of business, they become irrelevant, and they fade away. That's how you do it. That is why in a world you're never allowed to have multiple options. What is the first thing a narcissist does when a narcissist wants to secure you as a source of narcissistic supply. They isolate you. When you become financially dependent on a narcissist, they got you because they can kick you out and you're homeless. So now, because of the finances, they have a leverage over you they can use against you. But if you have other streams of income, or you have some money set aside, and the narcissist acts out of line, you can say, okay, F you, bye, you leave and you never return. And they're left behind with all their anger. No, they want to secure you as a source of supply so they can unload their tension on you to be relieved. So then you're the one becoming sick and they're at ease. This is what the narcissist wants. And this is how society is in general. You have to carry the weight to make sure to please others, and everything that goes wrong is your fault. Society is always right. And because you need to have this thing called money, and the only way for you to get this money legally is by working your arse off from 9 to 5. That's why you have no choice but to find a way to deal with their expectations. You just have bad luck. They just want something and you have to find a way to deal with it with whatever they want. And they don't have to give an account to you why they want it, because you just want it, you have to deal with it. But what if you walk by faith, and in faith you shut them down? You shut down their violence. Now you have a leverage over them. So now when society comes with its expectations, you can just shake it off. You don't even argue with them, you don't even fight with them, you just shake it off. And by shaking it off, they'll be upset, they'll be angry, and they'll be exposed for the psychic addicts they really are. And once this is exposed, there's no turning back. Once they have exposed themselves for the psychic addicts they are, for them to continue after you would be to embarrass themselves. For them to stop coming after you would mean conceding. But if they concede, then they've lost. And their legitimacy as society disappears. That's why the world doesn't want real believers to walk by faith. Because once we walk by faith, I'm telling you, we will replace society's BS with the glory of Christ. So replace instead of resist. Replace. Be at peace.